welcome to another Google Ads and Looker Studio tutorial. Today we are going to create a Looker Studio report that breaks down Google Ads performance by town and city. One of the complaints of many performance marketers is that when we come to our Google Ads accounts, and let's say we go to when and where our ads showed, and we click on match locations, we cannot break down the performance here by city. We can only see here countries. But if we use Looker Studio, we are able to see the performance of our Google Ads campaigns by city, regardless of whether or not we are deliberately targeting certain cities. If we are targeting more than one country or even countries that are big enough, we can go to Looker Studio and we can break down our performance by city. Before we create the report, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps tremendously to create new content, especially long content like this. So thank you very much in advance. And let's get started. Job number one, we are going to open our Looker Studio. So lookerstudio.google.com. We're going to create the entire report together from the very beginning. So once Looker Studio does me a favor here and loads, we are going to select here blank report. So we are going to create the report from scratch. So we're going to click here in this box. Now, once the next screen opens, you're going to see here this little interface. And we are obviously going to connect a data source. Our data source is going to be Google Ads. Even if you don't see Google Ads, use the search bar to type Google Ads and you will find it. So click on Google Ads. Now, if you are like me and you have tons of accounts that you are managing, you are going to actually see here all the accounts that you are managing. Then you're going to select the account that you would like to work with. It doesn't really matter now in this example which account we're going to select. We're just going to select an account that targets internationally. And here we connected our Google Ads with our Looker Studio. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it very simple. We want to break down our Google Ads performance by city. We're going to click on Insert. We're going to click here on Table. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add a table. From the right-hand side, I'm going to change the dimension here under Setup. I'm going to change the dimension to city. So select here town and city. So the dimension on the table is going to be town and city. And under metric, I'm going to select the metrics that I want to include in this table. So we're going to have, let's say, impressions, clicks. Let's actually add also conversions. And let's also add, let's say, click-through rate. And let's also add CPC. I'm just going to add the most popular metrics that most of you would like to see in the report. Let's also add cost per conversion, since we have conversion. So cost per conversion, this one here. And let's also add cost. So here we have pretty detailed table already, right? That includes city in the first column, then we have impressions, and we have clicks. When we have click-through rate, CPC, I'm just going to fix it a little bit in terms of how it looks. So we have actually quite a few things to already judge the performance by city. Now, we are not done yet. We are anywhere but done yet because we have a lot of beautification and a lot of other things we need to do here. So first of all, you may say, okay, that's great. What is the time frame here? Let's solve this to begin with. So we're going to click on Insert. From these options, I'm going to have a date range control. I'm just going to put it here on top of my Looker Studio report. So now here I can come and I can say, okay, let's look at our performance, for example, this year to date. And I'm going to click Apply, and I'm going to see the performance this year to date. Or I'm going to say only, for example, this month, last month. You are in control now. You have your selector. You can actually come here and you can select any date, which means that this report is now reusable. Now, a couple more things that we need to do. This table here looks very hard to analyze. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this table. We are going to go on the right hand side and we're going to click on chart here, and we're going to select the third option that says table with heat map. So we are going to convert this table to a heat map. And now it is a little bit easier to analyze because I can understand what is high, what is low. You may say, that's great, but I don't like pink, I don't like orange, I don't like whatever. You can have your own style, let's say favorites. Let's actually fix that. So let's say we want to change the colors of the heat map. We're going to select the table. We're going to come here on the right hand side. We're going to click on style, and we're going to scroll down under style. And here we're going to see metric 1, for example. You see here heat map. There is the color blue. I can change this to, let's say, orange. And that's how I can change the colors of my heat map. Now, I'm not going to waste time changing all the colors because this is pretty big enough table. Let's go and cover a few things that are going to definitely be useful. Someone may say, wait a moment, I want to also see the total. The city breakdown is great, but I want to see the total, like in total, how many impressions, clicks we have, what is the overall click-through rate, and so forth. All we have to do is to select the table. Under the setup column, we're going to scroll a little bit down, and here under summary row, we're going to click here, show summary row. And now you see here, there is the total, grand total, and every column, basically we have the total impressions, clicks, click-through rate, and so forth. Someone may say, okay, wait a moment, this table, it can become very long, meaning that we already see here 15 cities. I can actually go and then we have, let's say, 100 cities, but maybe I only want to show up front the top 10. How can we do this? We're going to select the table. Under the setup column, we're going to come here that says pagination, number of rows, and then we're going to say that per page, we're only going to show 10 results. So 10 results are going to be shown per page. Another frequently asked question, you may say, okay, that's great, but you know what? This table is going to show maybe 10 cities, maybe 50. What if I want to download this information just for me to crunch them on Excel and just do my own type of analysis? No problem. Hover your mouse on top of the table, click here more, the more button, and then here when you click the more button, you go to export, and then you can export as CSV or as Google Sheet or as Excel. And problem is solved, you're going to export the entire database. Okay, so what else can we do now? We can, if we want, insert a filter as a drop-down list here. And we're going to go here on the right under control field. We're going to select campaign. So now we have a filter here that allow us to select that specific campaign. For example, for my Thailand campaign, for example, I can click here and I can see the city breakdown for this specific campaign only. So that's a very useful filter to have as a drop-down list here, because you can select any campaign and then you will get the city breakdown only for this campaign, right? So very, very useful to have this drop-down list. What else can we do? Let's actually do something that is going to be quite cool. So we're going to select the table. Under the setup column, we are going to scroll down, and here we're going to see this comparison date range. Scroll down under the setup column. Under the default date range, you will see the comparison date range. We're going to open it up and we're going to select previous period. We're going to click on apply. So now we will see we have this delta column. So what is this delta column? This delta column, if I select, for example, the performance of last month, then it's going to compare my performance, my city performance, with the previous month. If I select this month to date, it's going to compare with the previous month up to the same date. If I select this month, it's going to compare with the last month. If I select this year, it's going to compare with the last year, right? So this delta column is going to make our life very easy to compare with the previous period. Now we have too many metrics here, so everything is a little bit truncated, but if we are to export, for example, everything in Google Sheets, then you're going to see here that because we have the delta column, not only we have a city analysis here, but we also have the delta column that is telling us impression-wise, clicks, click-through rate, conversions-wise, what is the difference with the previous period. So the delta column is something that I really like to include in all the tables in my Looker Studio reports. Very last things that you need to note, if you want to keep this report, I will recommend you to go on the top left, give it a name. So call it, for example, city breakdown. Don't misspell it like me. And from there, if you want to send it to your stakeholders, maybe your client, if you have to beautify it a little bit more, on the top right under share, here you can make this public if you want. You can invite other people to have access to this report, or you can maybe, for example, here, click this little drop-down menu. You can download the report as a PDF. Okay, couple more things. Now, since we were able to break down our performance by city, we can start actually here using different visualizations. So table is just one visualization. So let me actually remove here the delta column so it looks a little bit cleaner, our table. So table is just one visualization of the many that we can actually use. Now, what if I insert also here maybe a pie chart? And then here I can also use as dimension city, and then metric, we can have here, let's say, conversions. And now we have a pie chart here that showcases how many conversions we get as a percentage by city. And let's actually create another visualization that I like quite a lot. Now we don't have space, so let's actually make this page bigger. So we're going to go to page settings, style. We're going to make this, let's say, 3000 pixels in terms of height. So now we have a lot of space. We're going to click here on insert, and I'm going to insert here a combo chart. So here, the combo chart, we're going to have two metrics. The dimension will be the town and city. The first metric is going to be, let's say, conversions. And the second metric here is going to be the cost per conversion. And now you may say, okay, this looks horrible. I know, I get you, but we'll fix it. How are we going to fix it? We're going to select this visualization. We're going to go to style. Now, what we want is the first series, which is the conversions. We want this to be bars. So the number of conversions is going to be a bar. And we're going to scroll a little bit down, and the second series, which is the cost per conversion, we want this to be a line. But we also want this second series to be on the axis that is the right axis, right? So we're going to select here under axis. All right, so conversions are going to be measured on the left axis. Cost per conversion is going to be measured on the right axis. So now here we have a graph that looks quite cool. If we actually go and we say this year to date, and we click on apply, now we're going to see we have tons of cities. And then again, you're going to say, okay, this doesn't really look that great. Doesn't look that great because we have maybe 20 cities that have a decent number of conversions, and then everything else just has very little conversion. So what I'm going to do here is to apply a filter. And I'm going to create a filter here, and I'm going to say I'm only going to include cities that have above 100 conversions. So I'm going to say I want to include only data points that have more than 100 conversions. And then I'm going to save. And now here you see that our chart is a little bit more beautiful. Now maybe 100 is a small number. Actually, here we have cities with thousands of conversions. So let's modify this filter, and we can say that this filter is going to include only cities that have more than 1,000 conversions. We're going to change the name of the filter also. We're going to save. Now we only have 2 cities. Maybe that was too ambitious. We'll probably get it right. Let's make it actually above 500 conversions here, right? We're going to save. The last thing I'm going to do is I hate these grid lines that come inside basically this chart. So we're going to click on style, and we are going to find the option that is called grid. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to say white. So these grid lines here are going to disappear. So now that you learn how to create a table, how to actually run a city breakdown through Looker Studio for your Google Ads, you can see here you can create any visualization that you like. And maybe the last visualization we can showcase that is going to be quite cool. If we click on insert, we can also go and find this visualization here that is called heat map, but the geochart here. So under heat map, we're going to select the geochart. So we're going to actually drop it here. And here the dimension is going to be city. The metric, let's say, is going to be conversions. And now here, what we're going to do is we're going to say that the zoom area, we don't want it to be the world. We want it to be only Southeast Asia. So now we're going to zoom into Southeast Asia basically, and the dimension here should be city, not the country. So now we're going to see here a heat map based on the number of conversions by city. That's how you can create a city breakdown for your Google Ads, either as a table, a pie chart, maybe a combo chart, maybe here a geo map. So you have a lot of different options in Looker Studio. One more time, you can actually share your report as a link. You have to make it public, or you can share it to specific email addresses, or you can download as a PDF, or you can simply hover your mouse on top of these 3 dots and you can download, you can export the data of either the table, the pie chart, the combo chart, or any other visualization you have here in Looker Studio. I hope it was useful. If it was, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you have any other suggestions of what kind of analysis you would like to see through Looker Studio, especially, let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day in any time.